What if we lived in a world where the greatest minds of our age, scientists and philosophers working with Greenpeace, were completely wrong? What if we lived in a world where plants were the greatest threat to humanity, and serving someone a salad could be considered attempted murder? I saw you sneak those vegetables into my dinner, Mom, and once my mods charge up, you and this casserole are going to feel my wrath. On a somewhat related note, this video is about Remnant 2. Some of you may be asking, why is this guy covering a game that's over 2 years old? It may as well have been released last century. I'm reviewing it because it's good, and I want to tell you about it. Those are the reasons. So let's get into it. But seeing as this is my very first video, where should I start? This place is as good as any. We open with you traveling with your friend Cass through the decaying remains of an unnamed city. It's fairly peaceful out here today, and the biggest danger seems to be the ever-present threat of tetanus from all that rusted metal. You will quickly notice that Cass, your very best friend in the whole wide world, has some pretty cringe lines. But seeing how every other post-apocalyptic story's theme is that other people are the real monsters, I guess I'll take a cringe friend over someone who wants to eat my spleen. Moving on, it seems that you and Cass are looking for a place called Ward 13, in the hopes that you can trade with them. It's also apparent that Cass is infected with some kind of disease, which is fortunate for us because it means that she can't talk while coughing. As you explore the city, you decide the best way forward is through a root-infested sewer. Meet the reason everything sucks. The Root are a hive mind of tree-like creatures that brought the world to ruin over a century ago. In the first game, the player destroys their avenue of invasion, so these Root are cut off from the rest of the hive. Anyway, you and Cass drop yourselves onto the Root's front porch like a package with same-day shipping. They overwhelm you in a few seconds and even deal you a mortal blow, but just when all seems lost, the cavalry arrives. This is where you meet Bo, the mayor of Ward 13, and Clementine, who is without going into a 10-minute lore explanation, let's just say she has psychic powers. Bo heals you, and Clementine deals with the Root. They offer to guide you back to their home, and even help Cass deal with her illness. Ward 13 distinguishes itself from the rest of the world because it's populated by people who don't want to knife you in the back and steal your shoes. You'll meet all the important people, aka the vendors, eventually, but the founder of Ward 13, Andrew Ford, wants your help. So you follow Founder Ford into a bunker that was Ward 13 in the first game to help him with something. This is where you learn that some objects can be manipulated while inspecting them, and secondary to that is where you see your first World Stone. But don't worry too much about the rock. Manipulating items is far more important gameplay-wise. Ford turns on the World Stone and goes a little crazy. He rants about it being dangerous and that it should be sealed away forever. He then touches the stone and vanishes in the blink of an eye. But don't worry, Clementine followed us and is ready to help. Okay, she touches the stone too and is pulled into it by something unknown. Overcome with heroic might, or maybe just survivor's guilt, you also touch the stone and turn 2 missing people into 3. This is where the Remnant 2 experience may diverge for you and the people you call your friends. You see, there are 3 different worlds you can end up on. I'll go through all of them in the order that this playthrough went through them. Also, each world has 2 different storylines, 3 if you have each DLC. So if you want to see all the stories and get all the loot, you'll need to complete each planet multiple times. Or just watch a YouTube video and never tell anyone about it. Nerude is the first world in this playthrough, which it isn't. It's actually a planet-sized spaceship full of zombies and infested abominations. These used to be the spaceship's crew and passengers until they decided to drive through Delta, Utah. Actually, it was a black hole, but what's the difference? Once you run an errand for some guy and kill the right boss, you get a strange spike-looking thing called a segment. We'll figure out what it is later. After getting the segment, go interact with a World Stone, and you'll get to experience what Clementine went through. Welcome to the Labyrinth. As you'll learn, it's a realm that connects other realms, but the doors to those realms aren't functional without a key, so we need to find it. After a wave defense and a boss that could be considered the hardest boss in the game if we're going off the number of hardcore runs it has ended, we find one half of the reason why we're here, Clementine. Now we can get her out of here, and okay, it seems like she wants to stay. Something about needing to hold together the fabric of reality or something like that. So to get her to come home, we need to make her not needed. The being who kidnapped her, a guy called the Keeper, explains we need to remove the threat that the root poses to all worlds. To get started on that, we need to go to 2 other worlds, kill a powerful creature there, and take the segment that they keep. We go through a portal with the key provided by the Keeper, and end up in Yeisha. Yeisha is a beautiful and lush world that only has a slight chance of being disemboweled for visiting it. The root? No, I'm not talking about the root. I'm talking about these stupid deer. They run around at random and take like 40% of your health in one hit. Fortunately, Yeisha has a storyline where you get to kill the deer god, just in case you feel spiteful about dealing with its children. Once we gather Yeisha's segment, it's on to the next world. After dealing with our true enemy on Yeisha, we get to go to Losum. Losum is actually 2 worlds that fusion danced together and became one. The marriage, just like any other shotgun wedding, had some negative effects. Needless to say, just about everyone needs to be shot on sight. Once we kill someone powerful enough, we can get out of here and return to the relative peace in the labyrinth. Even though this game is a couple of years old, you may want to keep yourself spoiler-free in case you play the game. Skip to the time on screen if you want to stay spoiler-free. Using the 3 segments you gathered from Nerud, Yeisha, and Losum, the Keeper crafts an item known as the Index. This item allows him to open a portal to the home planet of the Root so we can destroy them at the source and save all worlds. Root Earth is different from the 3 previous worlds because it really only has one storyline. Eventually, you march up to the Root source and demand to see the manager. This is the center of the Root's hive mind. Annihilation is tough, and his boss fight goes through 3 different phases, but eventually you're able to take him down. Unfortunately, this is about as dead as he can get. Annihilation starts to reform right in front of you, and the Keeper considers wiping out all worlds to erase the Root. But Clementine has a clever idea. She snatches the Index and uses it to absorb all living creatures and all the worlds before spitting them back out. So you may be wondering, what did that actually do? It's a bit weird to explain, so bear with me. Essentially, Clementine creates a save point in reality, meaning we can go fight Annihilation over and over again. Because we may have failed the first time, but who's to say we'll fail the 2,923rd time? This also provides a ludonarrative reason for why you can re-roll your campaign and see the different storylines each world has. And that's about it. I didn't go into each individual storyline because I feel like they're the most interesting parts of the game, and I didn't want to spoil it for anyone. Remnant 2 released in a year with stiff competition, and even though it did pretty well, I feel like it still got overshadowed by games like Arachnid Boy and How Do I Trigger That One Cutscene with the Bear. I give Remnant 2 a good score out of 10, and I thoroughly recommend it to just about everyone. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.